Baseball. Today it is another sea of orange for the second Friday in a row, this time in Nashville, where it is a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. 71 degrees, sunny skies, light blue, high ceiling, sunshine everywhere in this beautiful Wilson Park. And Arkadelphia with a game they really need to pick up tonight. Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining us. My name is Blake Bell, and if you're joining on your Mascot Media app or if you're online streaming with your Arkadelphia Badger TV.com streaming service, we appreciate you being with us this afternoon. This tends to be a whale of a game each time these two get together, and today is probably not going to be an exception to that. I'm joined today by Chris Babb, as always. Hello, Chris, and welcome to another Friday afternoon in a sea of orange.
It is. It's a gorgeous day. You mentioned it. It's an absolutely gorgeous day. Couldn't say that yesterday, but storms came through, cooled it off a little bit. Gorgeous afternoon. It is a big game. Arkadelphia trying to solidify itself in that among the top four in the 4A7. Only 1 week left. You know, Arkadelphia has not lost a conference game due to weather yet, and so a lot of the other ones are caught up now because they had some makeup games Wednesday. But big three-game stretch. Nashville tonight, Hope on Tuesday, and then Camden Fairview on Friday at home.
Yeah, and speaking of that, there's some storylines that go into this last three-game stretch of the year that could change things around dramatically. Arkadelphia obviously kind of controls its own destiny, looking good as far as playoffs go. Could finish as high as second or as low as fourth. Maybe even an outside chance.
Unfortunately, it could be lower too.
An outside chance they could even finish outside of playoff contention. So they really control their own destiny. On the other hand, Nashville leading the conference at 9-2. They even own the tiebreaker against the other 9-2 team, Ashdown. A little tougher row to hoe there is Camden Fairview and then Ashdown to finish out the year.
Yeah, Nashville got the 10-8 win over Ashdown the first time those two teams met. They play next week. So if Arkadelphia could, currently at 7-4, Nashville and Ashdown 9-2, Arkadelphia 7-4, Magnolia at 6-5, Camden Fairview 5-6. So you want to stay at that 4 to 5 loss mark. You know, that means Arkadelphia with 4 losses, you can only got room for one more. But you also would like to stay away from that 4 spot. 4 would match up against most likely Stuttgart. Stuttgart lost its first game on Wednesday since the second week of the season. You know, Stuttgart had won 12 games in a row. They will most likely be the 1 seed from the 4A8, and the 4 seed from the 7 would match up. So that means either Arkadelphia or Stuttgart, if it's them, doesn't make the state tournament. So you want to set yourself up in the best position as possible, and that you start that by getting a victory tonight against Nashville, a team that struggled early in the season, but they've been hot as of late. They had an 18-6 win over DeQueen on Wednesday. Kason Willard went 4 or 5 innings. He threw 84 pitches, so he's not available for Nashville today. But these two teams had a 5-4 close one in Arkadelphia last month.
Yeah, let's talk about our starting pitcher today. It's going to be Trip Campbell, and we all know what Campbell is capable of. Coach Lowe was a little bit hamstrung at the early game this week as he faced off against Ashdown. He was without not only Campbell but Caden Brown as well, so he had a couple of big bats out of the lineup, probably what would have been his starting pitcher out of the lineup, as well as some good defense there. Tonight he's got those guys back, and, you know, even though Trip's coming off of, I guess, what would probably be an upper respiratory infection, one of those springtime coughing, hacking type things, we expect good things out of him tonight.
Yeah, and they're to the point where whoever steps on the mound is going to have to give Arkadelphia good outings. You know, the only pitcher Coach Lowe does not have the services of is Donovan Whitten. You know, he threw deep into that game against Ashdown. Even after Ashdown had kind of broken it open, Coach Lowe had to keep Donovan in there to keep pitching for today's game because you have to have this win, and I say have to have it. This is a big win, and you want to be able to have as many arms as possible. And so Tripp will get the start. He's been out for a couple of days, and hopefully he can give one of his normal Tripp efforts. You know, we have the no-hitter against Magnolia. You have the one-hitter against DeQueen. You have also another good outing his last outing as well. So Tripp has been as advertised so far this season in all but one outing, and he's going to come back and have to give a good one for Arkadelphia today.
Yeah, Tripp's got 6 games that he started, and he's only got a decision in 3 of those, 2 wins and a loss. So it's kind of been feast or famine, and when it is feast, it is a 5-course meal for Tripp Campbell. He's got 59 strikeouts, and it's nothing for him to come out here and fan a half a dozen or a dozen, double digit or a dozen guys in a game.
Yeah, he's just got a different look from that left side of the mound. Arkadelphia will also be facing a lefty today too. So 2 lefties going on the bump for the respective teams today.
Yeah, a young freshman pitcher, left-hander Carson Chambers, he's going to get the start for the Scrappers today, and this is the way the Scrappers will line things up. They're going to start out in their lineup with the left fielder, a junior Tyler Brown. Catching, the only senior on the team is Aiden Smith, batting in the 2-hole. Cason Willard, we've seen him for a long time, but he's just a junior, a third baseman. He'll be batting in the 3rd spot. Gage Green, another of those juniors, he'll be batting cleanup. Chambers, that freshman left-handed pitcher we talked about, will be batting 5th. Slade Slayton, the 2-year starter and sophomore, will be at shortstop batting 6th. Mason Honey is a DH today. We didn't see him in the first. He was injured first part of the year. He'll be batting in the 7th spot. He's a sophomore. Caleb Hunter in center field will be batting 8th, a junior, and Banks Ray, the second baseman, is a sophomore, batting in the 9th spot. Another freshman starting will be in right field. That's Hayden Gray for Coach Zach Stewart and his Scrappers. By the way, the Scrappers this year are, the Scrappers are 9-2, 14-5 overall, and like Chris said, they're coming on late.
That's right. Lefty, it looks like a lefty-on-lefty matchup, and this is a Nashville team that's playing very confidently right now.
Arkadelphia will send Carter Babb up first. He's a center fielder. Cooper Stevenson getting a start and moving up in the lineup to bat 2nd. Tripp Campbell pitching will be 3rd. Back in the lineup is Caden Brown. He's batting in the cleanup spot and playing 1st. Whitten is batting 5th at short. Houston Hooten moving to the hot corner. He'll be batting 6th. Back out in left field today. On the left side of the outfield is Zane Hill. Casterson will be at the DH spot, not playing in defense. Cobb will be at 2nd, and back also is Maddox Finley in right field. We're going to have our national anthem. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Taylor King. I've been practicing law for over 34 years, but long before that, I learned what it takes to be a good lawyer: caring for others. You could say it's a family trait, and it's one I've passed along to my kids. If you've been involved in an accident, call 1-800-CAR-WRECK. I want to help.
We want to help, to be on your side, by your side. I'm Austin King. Now, I've not been practicing law quite as long as my dad, but thanks to him, I know what it takes to be a good lawyer. I guess you could say it runs in the family.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of Bats and Signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Bats and Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Bats and Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Bats and Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you. Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803.
You know, Chris, it's always great to hear one of our student athletes do the national anthem. Young lady from right here in Nashville pulled it off and did a great, fantastic job. So congratulations to her. It's a beautiful afternoon for baseball. Arkadelphia sporting their blue tops as normal, their gray bottoms, all white for Nashville today as they come out with the black caps and the all white with the. They've got the orange and black piping on the around the jersey and down the leg, the black socks. Arkadelphia going to see, like I said, a lefty matchup on the mound. Just got some word that they are distant cousins.
Right.
So
thanks to a hat tip to Chris Campbell back in Arkadelphia watching distant cousins.
So got some delight, some delight, and some Nashville connection here. Not uncommon. Just a few miles down the road to the home of the Campbell clan, and Mr. Carson Chambers, part of that family as well. The freshman getting his start on the mound. This is the way things will start off for Arkadelphia. Carter Babb, he's leading off. He's doing great job at it. Cooper Stevenson, he's worked his way up and up and up and up that batting order. He's going to be batting second, and then Trip Campbell will be in the hole here as we start the first inning. Arkadelphia starting today 9-7 overall, 7-4 in conference. They are a game ahead of Magnolia in the conference standings, and 2 games back of Ashdown and Nashville, and a chance to gain a full game here up on Nashville, or against Nashville's 2-game lead. So just about ready to get things started. This is the way got 3 officials today, which is very unusual, but a nice, pretty day like today. Joe Horn will be at third base. Brady Day will be the first base umpire, and behind the plate today will be Mr. Jim Pennington. We're about ready for baseball here from Nashville. Thank you for joining us once again on your Mascot Media app, or if you're streaming live. It's a beautiful day from Howard County. Getting ready to get things started is leadoff hitter, left-hander Carter Babb. Here's the pitch. Babb watches strike one. Babb leading off is hitting .326, 475 on base average. He is leading the team in walks with 12, and more than doubling up the second place base stealer with 15. He takes strike 2, and he may not get a chance to go real deep here as Chambers is dealing here to start the inning. Here's the pitch. Outside just a bit, and 1 ball and 2 strikes to leadoff hitter Carter Babb. Quickly working is Chambers. The 1-2 is swung on, and an off-speed pitch gets Babb out in front just a little bit, and that'll be the first out of the game for Arkadelphia. And something that Carter doesn't do a whole lot is strike out. And so that'll bring up Cooper Stevenson. Cooper doesn't have a ton of at-bats, but he's made the most of it, hitting .438 and an over .550 on-base percentage. Swing and a miss at the first high fastball, comes up empty for strike 1.
Chambers went 3 straight fastballs on the first at-bat, and then came with the breaking ball for the strikeout. First pitch fastball to Stevenson. Cooper
Casts at that one. That's an outside off-speed pitch that stays outside of the plate. Cooper swings at it, no good. 0-2 to the Badger catcher. On deck is Campbell. Strike 3, and already 2 Ks swinging, to the credit of the young freshman for Nashville. So now it's senior against freshman, left-handed pitcher against left-handed pitcher. We'll see who gets the better of this one as Trip Campbell strides to the plate with 2 down here in the top of the first. Outside, you have to imagine that Chambers going to pitch a little more gingerly around the left-handed hitting cousin. And the first Arkadelphia batter to even make contact with the baseball is a 1-0 pitch that's fouled back by Tripp. One. Chambers over the glove. Here he comes set. Again, just a little late, and Campbell shakes his head, knowing he's just a little bit off of that pitch. High and outside. He goes out there and fights it off. A ball and 2 strikes now to Campbell. The pitch. Called, strike 3. So 3 up, 3 down. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night for the Nashville freshman pitcher as Arkadelphia goes down in order. 1, 2, 3. And we'll be back here for the bottom of the first inning. Arkadelphia, nothing doing in the top of the first. We'll be back to Wilson Park in Nashville after this.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
Back to Wilson Park in Nashville, Arkansas. Nice Friday afternoon. Home stretch of the 7-4A season. Arkadelphia fighting for their playoff lives here tonight, and then a couple of games next week. Also a couple of non-conference games scattered in there on the schedule next week, Chris. One at Majestic Park against the Lake Hamilton Wolves, and then Lakeside, which was a rescheduled game, could be as many as 4 games. Do you think that's healthy for Arkadelphia next week?
Well, getting in plenty of at-bats in non-conference games is always good, and then also you've got plenty of arms that could use the work as well. Obviously, if you looked at the forecast, too, it doesn't really look like anybody as of right now is going to be playing 4 baseball games next week, but such is life in the spring, and you play what you can get, and you got to make sure you can get those conference games in.
Well, that's exactly right. We'll set the lineup for you one more time, left to right. Houston Hooten going to be at third. Playing shortstop as normal is Donovan Witten. Cobb at second. And back to first base is Brown in the outfield. Left field today going to get the start is Zane Hill, Babb in center, and Maddox Finley in right. Your battery is Cooper behind the plate and senior lefty Trip Campbell on the mound. First pitch is fouled back. That's Tyler Brown. He is the junior left fielder, right-handed hitter. He jumps on that first pitch and fouls it away. Campbell from the windup looks right over the top of that glove. Comes set. Here's the pitch. And it's just high and outside. Jim Pennington behind the plate today. Not seen enough to see what his tendencies are going to be, but that one just a little high and outside. And that one hangs up a little. Trip a little disappointed, drops his shoulders. It's going to be a tight zone, it looks like, Chris.
Yeah, hadn't given a ton to that breaking ball upstairs yet.
2 balls and a strike. That one falls across, and not sure where that one was. Maybe a little low. So now 3 balls and a strike as Trip falls behind the first hitter of the afternoon for the Scrappers.
Yeah, he did bring that breaking ball down, and it did catch it low, but it might have caught the low part of the zone.
There's one that comes in the zone. It's fouled off hard and out of play off to the right side. Behind on that one is left fielder Tyler Brown. Here's the payoff pitch, 3-2 coming to the first hitter of the afternoon for the Scrappers. Swung on and hit right back up to the second baseman Cobb. He goes to his right, makes a bad throw over to first, and so we've got our first base runner of the day, and it's an error on Ashton Cobb as he ranged to his right in plenty of time and just missed the throw off going over to Brown at first.
Yeah, just set the feet and make the throw. You got time. Just kind of try to throw off of that throw off of the right foot, and the arm came across the body.
So the leadoff hitter for Nashville is on by way of an error. And that'll bring up Aiden Smith, catcher for the Scrappers, and it's the only senior on the team. It's kind of odd to look out and see one banner hanging up outside, but that's it. And it's Aiden Smith. He takes strike 1. There is a fastball. It's a little low for the liking of some of the home crowd, but it is an 0-1 count. Brown is away from first. He's being held on by Caden Brown of Arkadelphia over at first base. There's an off-speed pitch that looked like in the same place the last one he tried to get was, and it didn't get the call this time either. Ball and a strike. We'll see if Brown is going to run from first. He's got a decent lead. And there's a throw over, and that might be, it's going to get away, but it's going to be real close. Well, not going to get a throw from Brown, but got away from Brown just a little bit. So that's a couple of throws that have gotten away from Brown, and that one a little bit low. Probably should have been dug out, but nonetheless, the runner moves up to second base now, and not sure what that pitch was.
Well, it wasn't. It was just the throw over there, so it's still.
Yeah, we didn't have a pitch. Still,
with a three-man crew, these lefty pitchers, you can get away with some of those. What would be balks, you can't with a two-man crew. You can't get away with some of those with a three-man crew.
Ball is fouled back to the screen, so now a 1-2 count. Runner already in scoring position. That's the leadoff hitter, Brown, who reached on that error back a batter ago. Kason Willard on deck for Nashville. Campbell now from the stretch, comes to the belt, kicks and deals. And it is strike three.
Third time's the charm.
Boy, he went back to the well and he got it that time as he gets the first strikeout of the afternoon for Arkadelphia pitching, and it's
Hayden Smith had a few words for the umpire after that. I don't think he thought that was a strike, but you couldn't, Tripp didn't get the high breaking ball. He didn't get the low, and you have to get that one. That was right there. It was a big strikeout for Campbell.
And
that is not up.
That's
Tripp asked him if it was up. My goodness, if that's up, then we're in trouble.
Kason Willard, the batter now. He takes the first pitch, a called high ball one.
Both pitchers should be in trouble if that was up.
Yeah, this may be a really long day for pitching if they're going to have to throw it in a coffee can, and that's what it looks like so far at this point of the first inning. Kason Willard, the big right-handed third baseman. Brother graduated last year.
Cousin.
Yep.
Kason was cousins with Chris Willard and Garrett Willard that played for Nashville over the last 4 years.
Seems like there's been a Hopkins on the football field and a Willard on the baseball field for a long, long time here in Nashville. 3 balls, no strikes to Willard. Outside part of the plate, strike one. 3 balls and a strike. Willard was taking all the way. Brown away from second. Middle infield in double play depth. Corners at regular depth, and he walks him on 5 pitches. So runners now at first and second, and out. First walk of the day for either pitcher. Gage Green now, he's a junior first baseman. Another righty, 4 out of 4 from the right side so far for the Scrappers. As usual, Nashville with some pretty good sized young men on the field. There's a breaking pitch that comes across for strike one. Witten behind the runner at second. He's shading towards center field. Now a retreat. Oh, and about a half-hearted swing there as Campbell's off-speed breaking ball just locked up the knees of Gage Green, and he swung, but wouldn't have busted a grape if he had hit it. 0-2 now to the first baseman. And there's a shot. He's late. It goes into foul territory. If you've got a ballpark where there's a lot of foul territory and it's just pretty uniform down both sides, it would be here at Wilson Park. There's about 20 yards worth of foul territory that's parallel and runs straight all the way down to the 315 signs. And there is strike 3 looking. Nice pitch right there. Crossed him up. He thought he was going to come in with an off-speed pitch. Instead, he blows the fastball right by him for the second out of the inning. And
yeah, he was expecting curveball on pitch 3. I think that's probably why he got around late and fouled that one out. I think he was expecting another curveball, and Tripp just locked him up.
Chambers done a great job on the mound so far. He'll bat in the 5 spot with a chance to drive in some runs. We'll see if he's productive on offense today, and he takes low, ball 1. First lefty in the lineup for the Scrappers, and he is a nice-sized young man for a freshman. I wouldn't say he's lanky. He's probably pushing 6'2", 6'3", and for a 9th grader, he's a good-sized young man. Strike 1 is called, so a ball and a strike now from Tripp. Couple guys on, couple of guys out. Campbell in a little bit of trouble here. We'll see if he can get out of the inning. Swing and a miss. He blows it right by him for strike 2, so now ahead a ball and a strike. We'll see if he burns the pitch here or if he comes after the young lefty. Willard's away at first. Brown away at second. Not being held on. The pitch, strange swing and a miss. Strike 3, and a little bark from Campbell to the outfield, and he gets himself out of it with 3 Ks out of 5 chances, and with a leadoff error and a base on ball sprinkled in there. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 left on as we end the first. No score here from Wilson Park in Nashville. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Badger Baseball on your Mascot Media app.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands: Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
Chris, it was right here at Wilson Park last year that the Badgers ended their almost what was a dream season, an undefeated conference mark. This is a tale of two seasons this year, and you've really got as good, if not more talent. We've got some freshmen sprinkled in here, a little more competition this year in the 7-4A. The regional will be played at DeQueen here in a couple of weeks. Lone Oak will be the spot of the state tournament, which was here last year. What do you see different about this team versus last year's?
Well, it's you have a group of 5 or 6 seniors last year who were solid players, and then you have to replace those guys, and you replace them with players that don't have a ton of varsity experience, and it's just different. Nashville is a better team this year than they were last year. Ashdown was not in the conference last year. Magnolia has been, has really played well. They have a history, a tradition of good baseball, state champs for about 3 years ago, although they have not did not make the regional last year. But it's a different conference makeup, and a couple of those teams are better, and you just have to continue to try to get better throughout the thing. Baseball is a weird game. You can't get too high, too low, and that's kind of what Arkadelphia has struggled with this year. Been too high when they're hot, and probably, if you want to be honest, mentally a little too low when things have gone south, and you can't do that in the game of baseball.
Well, exactly right. And one of the additions this year is Caden Brown. He's going to pop up in the infield. That's going to be foul and out for Caden Brown, a new addition and a welcome addition over at first base. He's been quite the offensive player over at first base. Missed a couple of games this past week. He's out on a foul out to start the second inning, and Donovan Witten now. And Witten has certainly come around a long way. 19 hits so far, second on the team, only behind Trip Campbell.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, Blake. Definitely a different Donovan at the plate this year. He's gotten contact a lot of solid contact. Even in the game against Ashdown the other day, it was a line drive that ended the game, but it was a solid hit from Donovan Witten. He's done that all year.
Well, he's leading the team in RBIs. He's going to ground that one to third base. Up and across is Willard, and he's pretty sure-handed over there at the hot corner third base. He puts him out 5-3 for the second out of the inning.
Yep, good play by Willard. Came across, cut it off before it was able to get to Slayton because his momentum was going that way. And just make the routine plays. That's what you're going to have to do today. Make the routine plays that you're asked to make. You can't afford many errors and mental lapses in a game like this.
It's probably going to go by very quickly. It's probably going to go by very efficiently. Who's going to make the mistake, and that's what we haven't found out so far. Houston Hooten takes strike one.
I think it's one, yeah. I think it's 1-1 now. It's
yeah,
got
now
1-2
it's
on
1
the
and
board.
1.
You look out there, no hits for either team, 2 errors for Arkadelphia. We just talked about errors. They escaped and got out of the errors in the first inning, but you can't put your defense and your pitcher in that position too often. You don't want to flirt with fire. And they escaped the first inning. They've got to shore some things up in the second.
Hooten's moved around on the defensive side. He bats from the left side, and there's a ball that's bounced up there, and that one got away from from the pitcher, Chambers. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. He's playing third base today, and a regular starter now as the sophomore for Arkadelphia is Houston Hooten. Here's the 2-2. And he swings at a high outside pitch for strike 3. And so 6 up, 6 down for the young freshman and pitcher for the Nashville Scrappers. And Arkadelphia will go out back out in the field for the bottom of the second. No score here from Nashville. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Badger Baseball.
Hello, I'm Taylor King. I've been practicing law for over 34 years, but long before that, I learned what it takes to be a good lawyer. Caring for others. You could say it's a family trait, and it's one I've passed along to my kids. If you've been involved in an accident, call 1-800-CAR-WRECK. I want to help.
We want to help, to be on your side, by your side. I'm Austin King. Now, I've not been practicing law quite as long as my dad, but thanks to him, I know what it takes to be a good lawyer. I guess you could say it runs in the family.
So coming into today's game, this is what Trip Campbell has done on the mound so far. He pitched in 29 and a third innings. He's already now into his second inning of work here. He's faced 122 batters. He's faced 5 already today, so you can add to that. He's 2-1 on the year. He's only given up 8 hits. He's only given up 14 runs. 11 of those were earned. So great, and 122 batters faced, only 11 earned runs. He's walked 19 and struck out a staggering 59. So Tripp is one of those guys that he can come out and blow it past you. And so far, so good for Arkadelphia pitching as he's fanned his first 3 outs of the day. And now he'll face Slade Slayton. Dad Kyle was head coach here at Nashville for many years, won multiple state championships, and now working for the Sticks organization and still in coaching. Got a chance to shake his hand and say hi to him in the press box a while ago. Coach Slayton, a fine gentleman and a great head coach. His son, Slade, is leading things off here in the second. He takes
he retired from baseball, but now he's driving a bus. You get those hours. I called him. I said one day it was raining. I said, "What's your schedule?" I drive a bus and I go to the golf course.
Yeah, I guess there's worse things that you could do.
I called him one day when it was raining. And I said, "Well, if you can't play golf, what do you do?" He said, "Right now I'm watching The Price is Right."
There you go. Life of Riley. That's what you do. You coach baseball until you can watch The Price is Right and play golf. The 2-2 pitch is skipped up there in short.
I think now it's
2-2. A little bit of
they got off on the Hooten at bat.
Yeah.
On the scoreboard and had
2
to
balls,
adjust.
2 strikes to the sophomore shortstop. Swing and a miss, and he got him swinging. So again, a good start for Trip Campbell, as now the DH Mason Honey will be the second batter of the inning. Sophomore designated hitter, was injured the first time these two teams met in Arkadelphia. Today the first time he'll see the Badgers, and he takes strike 1. Bending breaking pitch. Honey is going to be towing the inside of the box right up on that plate. As you would expect most designated hitters to do, they're not going to give anything away on that inside corner. Ball and a strike now. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And Tripp took just enough of that to get Honey swinging a little out in front, and he's ahead 1-2 in the count.
Yeah, it's a good breaking ball. Just kind of handcuffed him. Came in a little bit more than Honey was expecting.
1-2 pitch. Working quickly, fouled just outside the first baseline. And Honey will stay alive to see another pitch. A ball and 2 strikes now to the DH. Wind, not much of a factor today. It's blowing a little bit in from center field. There's a shot that is fouled back by Honey. He stays alive. 1 down, nobody on. Bottom of the second, no score. Arkadelphia and Nashville in a pitching dogfight, as we would expect.
Well, these two teams played 5-4 game. It was a game that Nashville probably, to be honest, thinks they probably let get away from them. And so, you know, they're playing good and they're trying to get that one, because when it comes down to tiebreakers, you want to be able to have a split. Nashville beat Arkadelphia beat Nashville by 1, so they're going to try to do what they can to win by more than 1. So if it does come down to any type of tiebreaker, they'd have it.
You're exactly right. Honey takes high for ball 3. So now payoff pitch coming to Honey from Campbell with an out and no runner aboard. You're exactly right. And Arkadelphia in the Magnolia scenario gave up, of course, you only count 5 runs. And a swinging strike 3, and Honey goes down swinging for the second K of the inning for Tripp Campbell. Yeah, Arkadelphia beat in what was Tripp's no-hitter,
right.
1-0 at Majestic Park, and then gave up a run rule, 15-5 or something like that, and so a 5-1 advantage for Magnolia as they split the series with the Badgers. Here's Caleb Halter. Caleb, a junior, but he's been on the ball field a long time for Nashville. I know he's a 2-year starter and possibly a 3. Center fielder's batting from the right side. He's going to hit one high into left field, getting under it is Hill in the big blue sky. He reels in the can of corn for out number 3, and 1, 2, 3. The Scrappers are gone. We've played 2 here in Nashville. No score. You're listening to Arkadelphia Badger Baseball on Mascot Media.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of bats and signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Bats and Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Bats and Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Bats and Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia, call Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you.
Back to Nashville. Arkadelphia has gone quietly through 2 innings. 3 up, 3 down in the first, 3 up, 3 down in the second. So we'll see the 7, 8, 9 hitters. That's Hill, Kesterson, and Cobb here in the top of the third. No score from Wilson Park in Nashville.
Sorry, Blake. Lots of Badger Blue in town today. You got softball playing out at on Futrell Field out at the City Park. And then the Arkadelphia soccer teams are also here at just behind us at the high school. Girls at 5:30 and the boys after that in the game. It was supposed to be played last night, but they moved. So 4 different Arkadelphia Nashville events going on today here in town.
Well, it may not be. There's a bunt laid down by Hill. He's quick, and he's going to get down the line, but not in time. Nice play over there by the pitcher Chambers as he comes across and throws the speedy Hill out. Zane need to get it just a little bit further down that left side. I think just a foot more to the left, more to the left to either force Willard to take another step in, anything to force the defense to take another half second, and Zane's able to beat that out. It's a good throw by Chambers. Yeah, Willard needed to be the one to make that throw, and it might have had a chance to make it safe, but Chambers able to get over there and get to it, and his strong left arm was getting it across there in a big-time hurry.
Blake, I mentioned soccer is here, but boys soccer coach Steve Patterson is not, because he's in Conway with Quiz Bowl, and we can talk about that as we go on today. Big day tomorrow for Arkadelphia Quiz Bowl.
Absolutely. I saw a social media post and those of a practice round, and man, good
Judson
stuff,
Kuhn.
Arkadelphia.
Judson Kuhn is on the Quiz Bowl team. He was in Conway earlier this morning. Saw him in the dugout tonight. State championship match tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on PBS. Arkadelphia versus Bauxite.
Kesterson now, he's the DH today. Normally you'll see him out in left field. He's getting a break from defense today and only hitting. Kesterson hitting .262. He does have 12 RBIs. That's tied for second on the team.
You know, I said 10 o'clock. Technically, the whole thing starts at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on PBS. 7A is the first match, Fayetteville-Conway. Arkadelphia is the second match. So maybe around 10. That's a good pitch by Chambers, kind of locked Kesterson up there, but maybe around 10. But just tune in around 9:15 or 9:30 just so you don't miss it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, great tradition for Arkadelphia Academics to be in that quiz bowl every year and state champions multiple times. And we talk a lot about baseball and athletics, but academics very, very strong there in Arkadelphia. Ashton Cobb, he is batting in the 9 hole, playing second base today. Looks at ball 1. It's high and outside.
There's some velocity on that fastball. Chambers had some pop on that one.
Yeah, that one's going to be bounced to Willard. He's going to have plenty of time to get it across the infield. 5-3 goes the Badgers here in the top of the third. So 9 up, 9 down. Arkadelphia goes through their lineup the first time to no avail. And this has been a very quick one so far. We'll be back here for the bottom of the third from Wilson Park in Nashville. No score. You're listening to Badger Baseball.
Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803. Blake, we mentioned busy evening. We talked about softball, baseball, girls soccer, boys soccer. Take a look at the softball standings. Malvern in top in the 4A7 in softball at 10-1. Ashdown and Nashville at 2-3. Ashdown's a half game ahead of Nashville. The Lady Panthers 9-2. Nashville 8-2. DeQueen in fourth at 5-5. Arkadelphia and Magnolia tied for fifth right now at 4-7. A game and a half out of that 4 spot where you want to get to make the regional. Arkadelphia had a big win Tuesday night against Ashdown. A 10-9 walk-off victory for Arkadelphia to get up in that tie for fifth. So they'll have a tough one tonight against Nashville, and they finish with Camden and Hope. So still a shot for the softball team to make that regional if they can finish strong and get some help.
Yeah, good luck to the Lady Badgers as we hope they make it to the postseason as well. Banks Ray is the 9-hole hitter. He's the sophomore second baseman. He fouls the first pitch back to the screen. It's a ball and no ball and a strike to Ray. Here's the pitch back out for another inning of work is Trip Campbell. He has now faced 8 batters. He struck out 5. Hooten over from third base, sees something. He's going to go over and get in the ear of Campbell just a bit. Campbell rocks and fires for a 2-ball, 1-strike count now to Banks Ray. Hayden Gray, the right fielder, not in the batting lineup, will start back at the top with Tyler Brown, who's on deck. From the windup, foul back, evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And we are rolling right along, Chris. There's a little bit of breeze, about a 5 to 10 mile per hour breeze at times, blowing straight in from center field, which is 345 in the batter's eye. 330 down the lines, 330 in the gaps, 315 down the line, and just a piece of that 2-2 pitch as Banks Ray gets it back to the screen.
Yep. Take a look at boys soccer while we have a second between pitches. Arkadelphia third in the conference, trying to make that state tournament. DeQueen and Hope are undefeated. Arkadelphia in third at 3-2-1. Big match with Nashville will kind of give Arkadelphia boys soccer some separation, and as they try to wind it up in the next 2 weeks as well.
2-2 swung on, still staying alive is Ray. Pretty good at bat by Banks Ray as he is hitting in the 9 spot. He's just a sophomore. He's his second year as a starter, second baseman from the right side, and he's battling off pitch after pitch here from Campbell as
he's doing a nice job of spoiling those curveballs.
Yeah, he is. And there's one right back up the middle, and he gets the best of Campbell that time as it is a leadoff single for Banks Ray as he starts off the third inning with a single to center field, and a very, very nice at bat for Ray back to the top again.
Quality at bat, quality pitches by Campbell too. You know, he's down on the count, battled back, and then Ray just did a great job. Third base coach, head coach for Nashville, kind of got Brown over on his ears, trying to see if they're going to try to manufacture a runner in scoring position here with no outs in the bottom of the third. Arkadelphia playing back.
Looks like Brown may be, yeah, he is going to square around the bunt. He puts it right back to the screen. Not a very good, not masking that batting stance there very well. You could tell he kind of hunkered over a little bit, not in a traditional batting stance, and sure enough, he fouls that one back to the screen. We'll see if he tries it again with an 0-1 count. And again, he's got that short stance. He's on. You can tell he's about ready to square around, and he does. And again, he spoils it. It goes off the top of the bat, back to the screen. Looks like a replay of the first pitch, and now he's down 0-2. We'll see if Coach Stewart's going to get him to do it again. I would not imagine so. Nobody out and a runner on here in a 0-0 ball game, and it is no mistakes. 0-2 pitch is down and cannot get him to fish, so ball and 2 strikes. Still a pitch to burn here for Campbell. We'll see if he comes after the leadoff hitter Brown. Getting a short lead over there is Ray. He's being held on at first by Caden Brown. We'll see if he's off and running here against the lefty. And he is not, and the ball is dinked foul, and just getting a piece of it is Brown. Brown reached by an error in the first inning. Saw several pitches back in the first inning and hit a ground ball to the second baseman. He threw the ball a little bit wide, Cobb to Brown. 1 ball still and 2 strikes. Leadoff runner reach on a very good at bat by Banks Ray. He's at first. Not running. There's a ground ball hit to second. To his right, there's a throw in time. Bada boom, bada bing. That's a double play, and Arkadelphia erases the threat here so far in the third, bottom of the third, with a nice play there. Ashton Cobb made up for that error back in the first.
There's a great flip, a great field, and a flip to Donovan, and Donovan just got his momentum behind it and made the throw over. Coach Stewart not quite agreeing with that call from Brady Day over at first base, but it was a bang-bang play, and that's one that went Arkadelphia's way, and you're going to have those in a tight game.
Nice play. Aiden Smith now, he struck out looking, not wanting to do the same as he jumps on the first pitch and fouls it late back over the Arkadelphia dugout.
He struck out looking on that breaking ball, and Tripp came on this first pitch to Smith with that breaking ball, and he wasn't going to be looking again. He wasn't going to put that in the umpire's power, and so he fouled that one off.
He did. There's a shot that's going to be one hopper to the second baseman Cobb. Not a whole lot he can do. That thing is in between hops. It got right at his feet. He keeps it in front of him, but there's a runner aboard now, and that is the senior catcher, and he's going to be replaced by a runner over at first base. So Aiden Smith will reach on. Would you call that an infield hit? Boy, that's an in-betweener there.
That's a tough one. The good thing for Arkadelphia, whether it's a hit or an error, is that Ashton kept it in front of him. Because if that ball does get past Ashton, there's a lot of space out there between Finley and Babb, and Smith could have been on second. So it was a good job by Ashton of keeping that one in front of him, whatever he had to do on that weird hop with the turf and the spin.
Willard reached on a walk back in the first inning. He's back up again here in the third. Junior third baseman. And Chris talked about the infield. It is turf, but the outfield is not.
Yeah, turf infield, grass outfield, drains well. They did go back and give that an error on Cobb. That's a tough one. You know, I don't know if they would have really wanted to reward Smith with a hit there, but again, the good part of that for Ashton is he kept it in front of him, kept the runner at first base.
Willard going to hit the 0-2 pitch back to the screen. He's going to stay alive here, and so another runner over at first base, and really not a lot of only one hit so far for either team, and that is earlier this inning. That was erased by a double play from Ashton Cobb, 4-6-3. Off and running on a pitch that's in the dirt, and nice call there by the coaching staff. They knew that Tripp had a pitch to burn. They know he's going to come at him with that off-speed pitch, and it's probably not going to be a hittable pitch, and sure enough, it's not. Now a runner in scoring position.
Biggest pitch of the game to this point right here.
And Willard's going to watch it go by for strike 3 looking, and once again, the big left-handed senior comes up fighting, and that is Tripp Campbell, as once again he sends back the Nashville threat. After 3, we're knotted up, and we're going to keep it right here, Chris, because we've got a celebrity in the house.
Thank you.
Coach Brent, no. Coach Brent Matros joining us here right now, and it's good to see Coach Matros. Saw him on the golf course the other day, and looking nice and fit and trim, and
how's that arm doing? Got any first pitches lately? No, yeah, he wants to worry, man. We did that first pitch, and I think I kind of confused him that day. I said, hey, what if we crossed Judson and Carter up? And we just kind of crossed him. And then he said, all right, throw, boys. And he wasn't quite ready for it. So I got the better of him. But
I know after the Ken Duke Classic, which was last Saturday, a great event, obviously, for Badger Athletics. Ken Duke has always been a big supporter of Badger Athletics, and a great event, a beautiful day. And after the tournament was over and everyone was fed, Ken did a clinic, and he was going to do a little bit of a swing clinic. And I walked by him and I said, do you happen to have a medical clinic that we can do? Because I think I hurt my back, I had tennis elbow in my left arm. And but he said, no medical clinic. So
you did not finish in last place, though.
I did not, and our team
did not either.
Our team actually finished second in the second flight.
Yeah, our team
made more money than it cost to get in, and hey, what a day! Got a round of golf and a free meal out of it.
Had a lot of fun with that. Played with Carter Babb, Donovan Whitten, and Tripp Campbell. We were not there for the golf. Well, we were, but it's just not what not what we excelled at that day. We excelled at having a lot of fun.
Well, it was a fun day had by all, and for a great cause, Arkadelphia Badger Athletics, and one of those guys that's been a major contributor to Badger success over the years is right here to my left, Brent Matros. A couple of state championships. We saw his team about a week or so ago and recognized that 13 first state championship. Those guys are man, 10 years older. Those are grown guys, babies and jobs and goodness gracious, minivans and all that good stuff. Carter Babb back up for his second time. Carter struck out in the first inning. We'll see if he gets the best 2-1 count here to start the fourth. And he takes ball 3. So a 3-1 count now to the Badger leadoff hitter, and he's leading off 2 out of the first 3 innings and doing a great job. 326 so far, 475 on base, leading the team in walks and stolen bases. And Carter done a good job. We'll see if a 3-1 count gets him on. And he takes strike 2. That one outside just a little bit for Carter's liking. Did not swing. He didn't want any part of it. Here's the payoff. Just a piece of it, and it gets back to the catcher, Smith, and he's got a little bit of a stinger from that one. He missed part of that catching gear, and Carter going to check him out.
Asked him, he said, they got you. It looked like, based the conversation between home plate umpire Jim Pennington and Chambers, it does look like it got Smith.
We know a little bit about that. Last week ago in Malvern, Cooper Stevenson caught one in a really bad place, and he was down for extended amount of time. 3-2 to Carter Babb. Outside and high. Ball 4 draws a leadoff walk here in the 4th inning, and Carter Babb doing exactly what Carter Babb does best, and that's get on base.
Yeah, Cooper Stevenson coming up. First base runner for Arkadelphia. You got a lefty at the mound. Babb leads the team in stolen bases. You don't want to get, he wants it, but you don't get too antsy once you finally have something going.
Stevenson going to hit another one back there to the catcher Smith, and that one got him again, I believe, and he's thinking, man, this is going to hurt tomorrow. This is going to hurt tonight. Stevenson very aggressive at the plate, and it's worked out well for him. On base over half the time. He's 550 coming into the game. He did strike out swinging in the first inning, dropping that average a little bit, still hitting well over 400. And just a sophomore, earned the starting catching position about halfway through the season. 0-1 takes strike 2. Babb dancing around over at first base. He'll get a little more of a lead, as we said, leading the team in stolen bases with 15.
Chambers has a pretty high little leg kick, too. He went with the step slide there, kind of a rush delivery. Cooper does a nice job of staying off that fastball low and in.
Yeah, Chambers a lefty, so Babb's not going to be able to get his normal extra step of a lead as he might against a right-handed pitcher. We'll see if he's going here on a 1-2 count. Taking a long look now to Stevenson. He's going to swing and miss. The batter is out, and Babb's going to take second base. It'll be a stolen base. Base was occupied as the pitch came across, so Stevenson is going to be out, but Babb will be credited with his 16th stolen base of the year.
Maybe. He might have, I don't know if he was off with the pitch. I wasn't watching that, but it might have been on the read as the ball got by Smith. But that's essentially just like a sacrifice bunt. You got a runner in scoring position for Trip Campbell, the hottest hitter on the team.
Well, I don't think Carter Babb's near as worried about the stat line as he is the scoreboard, and he is the first Arkadelphia runner in scoring position. And Campbell going to pop one high out of play off to the left side, and the young scrappers will go after that one in the bleachers. Campbell leading the team. He's got 22 hits, 12 RBIs. That's tied for second. Be a good chance for him to help his own cause right here with an out and a runner, Babb, at second base. Here's the pitch from Chambers. It gets away. Babb will get to third, standing up, and now 90 feet away is the first run of the game.
First time either team has had a runner at third base today.
That is exactly right, and Arkadelphia still does not have a hit. 3 errors across on the line score, but no hits, no runs. 1 hit only for the Scrappers fills their stat line. Outside, and 2 balls and a strike now. Lefty on lefty, pitcher on pitcher.
Yeah,
Campbell struck out looking his first time up.
Kind of surprised the infield's not trying to cut down this run. They're giving up the run if it's contact at all. Shortstop infield playing, a couple steps from the grass. Willard even with the bag, and then first base is playing deep, so they're conceding the run on a ground ball.
And Carson Chambers, we mentioned he is just a freshman. He came by and he looked great through 2 innings. Now having a little trouble finding some command, and he's walked another batter. And so here is the second base runner of the inning for Arkadelphia, still with 1 out, and what has been a really hot hitter in Caden Brown will come up, and that'll draw out Coach Stewart from the dugout for Nashville, and he's going to check on his young left-hander.
Yeah, now obviously the middle infield will be back at double play depth. Caden Brown has good speed, hard hit ball, could end up being a double play if it's fielded cleanly, but if it's a soft chopper, it's going to be hard to double up Caden Brown to try to anything you can do to get that first run of the game across for Arkadelphia here in the top of the 4th inning.
A couple of different things that I wanted to bring attention. One, the difference in the age of the pitchers. Both tall lefties, both good velocity, both have good breaking stuff. A lot of difference in a senior versus the inexperience maybe of this freshman. We may be starting to see this right now. Here's Caden Brown with a runner at the corners for Arkadelphia. Takes strike 1 on the high side of the zone, and not much Caden could do with that. And
Caden has shown the ability to pull one right through that 5-6 hole, and there's a wide open gap there on the left side.
On base percentage over 500. Swings at the second for strike 2. Really wanting to put this one in play. And he stays alive, fouls it back to the screen.
They went fastball on that one. I thought they might try to get him to go swing over a breaking ball. So he came back with that one. See if he comes back with a breaking ball here with an 0-2 count. Try to get that second out.
I think Dylan Rogers is running, courtesy running at first base for Tripp. Long look over to him. There's a pitch down in the zone for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Caden Brown, the junior first baseman. Being held on at first, swing and a miss. And Dylan Rogers started to second and then kind of put the brakes on about 8 feet from the bag, got a little bit of a shout, and he's going to roll into second.
I think he was hoping that he might draw a throw. Smith's not going to throw that ball. He faked the throw, hoping that Babb would jump off the bag at third. Big spot here for the senior Donovan Whitten.
Yeah, and Whitten is the RBI guy on the team. 14 leads the team. 19 hits, second only to Campbell. Big spot right here. A base hit would score 2, almost certainly for Arkadelphia. Fouls the first one back. No balls, 1 strike to the senior.
He can also beat out a ground ball.
Shortstop. He can. Ball is down and away. A ball and a strike. We'll see if Chambers treats the big right-hander gingerly or if he comes right at him. Set to the belt. Here's the pitch. Up high and 2 balls and a strike now to.
Yeah, he had a little bit more gas on that one, Blake. Obviously didn't have the release point right, but he brought that one. He was going to challenge Donovan with everything he had.
Outside, ball 3. Houston Hooten waits on deck. We'll see with the 3-1 count, does he get the green light? I would say so, with 2 runners in scoring position and leading the team in RBIs. We'll see if Chambers comes after him. He does not, and it's ball 4. He's high. He wanted the larger in stature Whitten to go after it, and Whitten laid off. Nice at bat there by DeWitt, and he's loaded the bases now for Arkadelphia, and a good chance for Houston Hooten to come through for Arkadelphia. 3 walks in the inning for Chambers. A couple of strikeouts mixed in there. Hooten from the left side. Swing and a miss. High outside pitch. Comes up empty. Hootie pats his chest, said, that's my bad. A couple of more shots at it, and we'll see if he takes advantage. The Speedy Hill on deck for Arkadelphia. The pitch. Swing at the same pitch. Outside and high. Strike 2. Big spot here for Chambers, the pitcher. Hooten, the batter, as Arkadelphia has filled the sacks here in the top of the 4th. 2 outs, 0-2 count. Poke, foul. Will it get out of play? And it does. Into 2 rows back here at Wilson Park, and Hootie will get another chance. Hooten leads the team in one category. Well, excuse me, second in the team in one category, and that's walks. I don't think he's gonna draw a walk here, Chris.
No, Chambers going to come right at him. He's going to have to be defensive, but also go up there with confidence and put the bat on the ball.
Everybody deep in the infield for the Scrappers except for Willard, who's even with the bag at third. High pitch. He tried to get him fishing for another time, and now the runner's going to come home, and there's Babb. He's in there with a stolen base. And there's the first run of the ball game, and he takes advantage of the senior pitcher. Or excuse me, the freshman pitcher.
Yep, he's done that once before, and it was at Stuttgart, the first game of the year. The pitcher was not expecting it. He tried to catch it real quickly, and he just threw him off.
Excuse me, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's another high pitch. That's going to be, I believe, 3-2.
I couldn't tell what the umpire
2-2 or 3-2,
said.
not
Yep.
sure. Runners at the corners. Rogers did move up to third. Whitten over at first. Ball is hit out into short, shallow, foul ground, and it's almost going to be caught by the second baseman, but that dead Bermuda Triangle over there that's hurt so many.
It just brought
teams
back
in the
bad
past.
memories to you, didn't it? You just had a flashback to 2018 in Omaha.
Oh, my goodness. Don't even get me started.
Yeah. Hey, how about this AB from Hootie? I don't know what's going to end up, but just falling in the hole 0-2, fouled 2 pitches off, battled back to even, and now he and Chambers are in a good battle. Someone's going to win it, but it's a good AB after the first 2 pitches.
2 balls, 2 strikes, foul back again. You're exactly right, Chris. And if anything, Carter Babb helped his confidence in a little bit by getting that stolen base there. Great call over there by Coach Benson Jordan at third base. Taking advantage of the young pitcher, more concentrated on the next pitch rather than the runner at third, and he made him pay. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he watches strike 3 go by. But a run comes across for Arkadelphia on a stolen base. Stealing home was Carter Babb, the senior, and they've broken this 0-0 tie. Arkadelphia goes up in front here in the top of the 4th. We'll come back for the bottom of the frame in 30 seconds. You're listening to Badger Baseball on ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands. Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
Baseball fans, we've got a heck of a game going on here in Howard County. Arkadelphia 1, Nashville nothing. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Nashville coming up to bat. They'll bat 4, 5, and 6. That's Green, Chambers, and Slayton. Arkadelphia loaded the bases, had an 0-2 count until Carter Babb stole home on the pitcher to break the scoreless tie, and now the Badgers with a 1-0 lead, and lefty back out there, Trip Campbell. He's going to start off Gage Green, who struck out swinging back in the first inning. He's going to start him off with a pitch outside that gets away from Stevenson, 1-0. Green, the big right-handed first baseman. The 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed. Paints the black on the outside and just outside the reach of Green's bat. Evens it at 1-1. Chambers, the pitcher, due up next. The only lefty in the lineup. And there's a pitch that I think everyone in the ballpark, including the batter and the catcher, wanted to see what the call was. Yeah. It was really close, but it's 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, a little bit high and out probably. That
one's not. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one bends right over the plate, and Green is standing there watching it go by. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 4th, Badgers. 1-0 here in Nashville. Swing and a miss. He just reared back and put some mustard on that hot dog and got it right by him.
He did, and when you have that breaking ball bend in like that, it just gets the batters guessing. You have command as the pitcher. If you can get that breaking ball to break like that and fall into the zone, the pitcher's looking, the batter's looking for it, and then you come back with the heater in the zone, and you just can't catch up with it.
We'll see if Chambers has that stolen base on his mind or if his at-bat is on his mind as he steps in. Struck out the first time he faced Campbell, swings and fouls this one back to the screen. And it's lefty on lefty once again. Tall pitcher against tall pitcher. Senior versus freshman. Here's the pitch. Starts it off a little too high, finishes a little too high. Ball 1 to Chambers. Slayton on deck. for Nashville. Swing, a half-hearted swing, a tip into the glove of Stevenson. A ball and 2 strikes now. Another swing. This time it's fouled into the mitt of Stevenson. The last 2 strikes were gloved by Stevenson. Nice play by the sophomore catcher.
Yeah, you know, you get that tip, and, you know, that is such a confidence builder for him. It's such a good, you know, for your pitcher to deliver a great pitch, get the swing and the miss, and Cooper stays with that tipped strike 3.
Slayton, he'll dial in from the right side. The sophomore 2-year starter at shortstop struck out his first time, takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Working quickly is Campbell. This time it's outside. You know, it's amazing how much quicker he works with his haircut because his hat doesn't fall off every
It's fallen off a few times.
It has. Wow. I don't know if he shook his head. The umpire shook his head because it wasn't a strike, or he knew that he missed the call.
The people are asking if it was inside. Someone asked if it was inside, and he said yes. Surely that had, as far as that started outside. Goodness.
3-0, strike 1, and it's in the top of the zone.
Well, you think of it as an umpire, Blake, if you've got a breaking ball like that from a lefty to try to tell where that hits the zone, it's all over the place. That's got to be one of the toughest to be able to call.
And there's strike 2. It is, and it's not where the ball hits the catcher's mitt. It's where it crosses the plate.
That's what's got to be tough.
And with a 12-6 breaking ball like some of these big left-handed pitchers have, it's just hard to tell. A lot of it is his alignment. He's fought his way back, and he strikes him out looking. Nice play there to end the inning. Again, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. 1, 2, 3, 2 strikeouts swinging and 1 looking, and Arkadelphia is rolling here as we go to the top of the 5th. Let's count the strikeouts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We are 9 strikeouts out of 12 outs, and once again, Trip Campbell is showing us that when he's dialed in, he is hard to hit.
Yeah, you know, it's just a great job of pitching, by Tripp to get ahead in the count. But then you look at that last one from Slade Slayton. Tripp was behind in the count 3-0. He came back with the 3-0 pitch was one he thought he was going to get to make it 2-1. He doesn't. He comes back with a fastball down the middle, the 3-1 pitch. I think Slayton was trying to either get it to nick his elbow or crowd the plate to look like it was inside, and he just came back and froze him on that last one.
7, 8, 9 due up for Arkadelphia. This thing is moving along quickly. Hill, Kesterson, and Cobb. Hill tried to bunt his first time up back in the 3rd inning, and he didn't quite get it down that third baseline just enough, and he was thrown out. Not a bad idea. Hill's probably going to be your fastest on the team, at least in the starting lineup today. Kesterson struck out looking, and then Cobb
you wonder,
grounded to the third baseman.
You wonder if Zane might try it again. You know, Willard is playing even with the bag now. He took a couple of steps in front of it. No.
And he's not. He's going to pop that one right back over our head here. We're on the outdoor porch here at Wilson Park, just to the right of home plate. If you're looking out into the field to play, what was almost a swinging bunt, that's a foul ball that gets over into the third base dugout occupied by the Scrappers. So 0-2 now to Hill. Hill getting that start in left field today, usually out in right. See him in left today. And he swings at a high fastball. So Badgers are 1 down here in the top of the 5th, and Kesterson now, the DH role, getting a break from defense. He'll have his second at bat. He struck out looking earlier. He's going to pop this one out into center. Ranging to his left and making the play look easy is the center fielder, Caleb Halter, and 2 up, 2 down quickly for Arkadelphia.
That's the first. I think that might be the first ball Arkadelphia's put in play. Now, Willard's had 2 put outs in the first or second. First one we put in the outfield, though.
Yeah, it is. Brown, he fouled one into foul territory, popped out. And this time, look at this. All right, Ashton Cobb, he's going to hit one to right center field and Tripp going over the first base bag. He wouldn't have gotten to second anyway, so nice play there as he takes the first pitch to right center field towards that 330 mark. It's cut off quickly over there by the right fielder, and with a 2-out single, Cobb is on, and the top of the lineup is due up.
He just went with the pitch. It was just a great piece of hitting. The pitch was outside. Ashton went with it, put it in the gap in right center, and just a tremendous job.
Carter Babb going to come up now. We're going to see, we've got something going on here. Coach Lowe came out of the dugout, and we'll see if we've got some sort of maybe an interference sign, maybe an interference over at first base. We know Cobb slipped going over first base. We don't know if it might have been because of first base interference. We'll see as the three umpires are conversing here.
It's worth a shot if that's what you go out. If you're Coach Lowe, you go out and say, hey, was there any interference on there that kept him going? You at least make them talk about it. And they indeed said there was not, and that's probably what I think as well. But you at least go ask and see if they'll talk about it and find out.
Yeah, good coaching move there. And Carter Babb now up for his third time of the game. He walked back an inning ago. Get things started. We'll see if he can continue now with 2 down. Takes high and outside, ball 1. Cobb going to remain at first base. Pretty nasty spill over there as he went around first, but he's up and getting a 2-step lead. Got the oven mitt on the left hand being held on. Babb takes ball 2. Babb going to be patient. Going to work that leadoff role no matter where he's at. He's got 2 down now, but he's going to work the count deep if he can. Cobb back in, gets the throw over from Chambers. Chambers one-hopped it. Nice grab over there by the first baseman, Green.
Yeah, he just saved putting a runner in scoring position with that short hop snag.
Yeah, and not even a guarantee that the runner can't get to third. Cobb not the fleetest of foot, but at least going to be in scoring position, and Babb's already way ahead in the count, 3-0. Stevenson on deck, and Stevenson has the ability to unload the bases here. If he can find a hole somewhere, he's going to swing hard. Stepping back off is Chambers. Cobb a little antsy over at first. He's going to draw another throw and starting to get into Chambers' head a little. Nice job there by the veteran Cobb.
I think he didn't have a huge lead. I think Chambers just needed to get in a space where he felt comfortable.
Yeah, and he knows that a 3-0 count and now a 4-pitch walk to Babb has a couple of guys on. We'll see if Coach Stewart's going to come out. No, he's going to give him another at bat.
Their other best pitcher is Kason Willard. Willard gets the start at third base today, and he went 84 pitches on Wednesday at DeQueen, so he's not available. Chambers is their second guy, and so Coach Stewart's going to let him play through this. It'll be a good time for Cooper Stevenson to do what he's done so much recently. But you got to lay off of that outside one if you're going to try to pull it. That's the pitch that Ashton Cobb took to right center. And right. That was a swing that says I'm putting this one in left center.
A first-year starter, Stevenson. We'll see if he can figure out the young lefty. He'll get a better view of it coming from the left side. This one's going to bounce. It's not enough, and a good play there by the catcher, Smith, as he keeps it in front of him, the only senior on the team, and saves that.
Well, I think that bounced off of it, got through the wickets of Smith, and it bounced off of the umpire back into the field of play, and that's why Cobb was not able to advance to third.
A ball and a strike to Stevenson now. Back half of the battery. He is up for his second time of the game. Takes high for ball 1. Ball 2. 2 balls and a strike now to Cooper. And Tripp Campbell waiting on deck. Cooper takes, that's outside.
That's a good
strike 2.
Call. It was one of those 50-50 ones that went the way of the pitcher, and Chambers needed that one.
Well, he got it. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Stevenson. 2 outs in the inning, 2 on. Deuces are wild. The pitch inside. Ball 3, and everybody starts going towards the Nashville dugout except for Cooper Stevenson and home plate umpire Jim Pennington. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Runners will be off, so anything in the gap could score 2.
We've had a moment or two, and this is one of them, as Cooper Stevenson calls time now, as no pitch clock here in high school baseball. So even though this has been a very efficient, fast-paced game, no pitch clock. Campbell waits on deck. Will he get a shot? Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and down goes Arkadelphia with a couple of runners on. Had a chance right there, Chris, to put a little distance between them, but couldn't come up with it.
Yeah, I'll give you credit to Chambers. He challenged Cooper Stevenson. Cooper put a big swing on it. It was just elevated a little bit too much. Swung right under it, and it was a good pitch by Chambers to get out of that jam.
We go to the bottom of the 5th. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Badger Baseball from Nashville.
Everyone's known for something. Ours is simple. At the Southwest Auto Collection and iDriveSWA.com, you get the absolute lowest price on America's best brands: Ford, Lincoln, Chevy, GMC, Buick, and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. The best selection and the lowest prices guaranteed. And we deliver anywhere in the state, plus tires for life. It really is that simple. Visit us today, the Southwest Auto Collection, I-30 exit 78 in Arkadelphia, or online at iDriveSWA.com.
7-8-9 due up here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. From Nashville, Arkadelphia clinging to a 1-0 lead. A stolen base. Bases loaded for Arkadelphia, and Carter Babb stole home. That's the difference in this ball game right now, Chris.
It is. No margin of error, but Arkadelphia's been in this spot before. Trip Campbell on the mound. It was on a turf field at Majestic Park. Carter did say, he said, man, sometimes we just seem like we play a little bit better on turf. But exact same situation that Arkadelphia was in against Magnolia, up 1-0. Although you're the home team in that game because it was a home game for Arkadelphia. But, Trip Campbell, as good as he's been, he's got to continue to be that. And so the defense has to be solid because you don't have any margin of error, only up 1 run. Only 1 hit for both teams.
Well, and there's not been a lot of margin for error when it comes to the pitching of Trip Campbell. Mason Honey will be the batter. He is the 7 hitter and the DH in the lineup for the Scrappers.
He fouled a few pitches off on Campbell the last time he was at the plate.
He did. He struck out swinging, but had a good at bat, and he watches low, ball 1 right there. Talked to the broadcasters, Frank and Johnny, and they said he's coming along quite nicely. He's going to foul this pitch right back out of play over the Arkadelphia stands.
Well, I got to see Johnny Wilson before the game. He's the PA announcer for Nashville football, but he is going to be inducted in the Nashville Scrapper Hall of Fame. I think it might be their first class. We got to say hello to him and congratulate him on that.
Good for him. Those guys are fun they're fun to listen to and fun to watch. Very nice to be around. Always very humble and very glad and helpful to us as we come here every week. Thank you, sir. 3 balls, 1 strike to Honey, and a chance to put a scrapper on board to lead the inning off. Not what Arkadelphia wants. 3-1, fouled away. 3-2 now to Honey. Another good at bat for the DH.
It is, and this has been a good battle by Campbell to not walk him on that 3-1, force a swing. Honey standing in there, has stood in that box, and now you got a 3-2 count.
Here is the wind. Here is the pitch. Swung and hit right back up the middle. Witten got to play. He's going to make it to Brown, and a nice jump to his left over there by Witten. And he saw that play, and enough of a veteran move there by the pitcher not to get in the way of that and not be able to make a play.
Yeah, he measured his runner almost a little too much, took a little bit off of that, and we've seen Donovan fire some balls across that diamond. Measured up the runner and knew he didn't have to fire it like he did to turn the double play, but almost just a little bit too much. Good scoop by Caden Brown.
Here's Halter. He flew out to Hill in left field back in the 2nd inning. And Hill camped under that one, got an immediate read on it and got under it quickly and was able to make a can of corn out of it. A ball and no strikes here to Halter. Popped up on the infield. Brown measuring it at first base. He'll call everyone off and make the play.
Well, you might have heard a collective gasp or ooh in the crowd because Caden Brown's looking right into that sun. He called everybody off. Maddox Finley charged in from right like he was supposed to. Cobb was there at second like he was supposed to be. Caden Brown called everybody off looking at that sun, and that wind just barely drifted him to his right 2 steps. But he measured up just enough to make the catch. And I don't know if y'all could hear it at home behind us, but just a little collective ooh and gasp from both sides for different reasons.
And Tripp lost his hat. Exactly the way it's supposed to work out.
Right.
Here's Banks Ray. He singled the only hit on the board so far for Nashville. 1-0 is the count to Banks Ray. He takes a close ball 1. And there's a not so close strike 1 as he slows it down and Ray is way out in front of that pitch. Ball and a strike to Banks Ray, the second baseman. Only hit on the board, swing and a miss once again.
He just short-armed that swing, too. It was a full cut, but he just had to short-arm that one to try to catch it coming down from the zone. You call it 12-6. That's almost a 2-8, curveball.
It absolutely is. Here's the 0-2, and it is a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. The appeal down to first base. Umpire Brady Day rings him up, and so 1, 2, 3 go the Scrappers, and this thing is moving right along, Chris. We've got 2 more innings to play. We'll come back for the top of the 6th from Nashville. Arkadelphia 1, Nashville nothing. It's a Friday afternoon, a beautiful day for baseball. You're listening to it on your Mascot Media app.
Hello, I'm Taylor King. I've been practicing law for over 34 years, but long before that, I learned what it takes to be a good lawyer, caring for others. You could say it's a family trait, and it's one I've passed along to my kids. If you've been involved in an accident, call 1-800-CAR-WRECK. I want to help.
We want to help, to be on your side, by your side. I'm Austin King. Now, I've not been practicing law quite as long as my dad, but thanks to him, I know what it takes to be a good lawyer. I guess you could say it runs in the family.
We go to the top of the 6th inning. Arkadelphia 1, Nashville 0. It'll be Tripp Campbell, Caden Brown, Donovan Whitten for Arkadelphia. Blake, I mentioned Johnny Wilson being in that Hall of Fame, but also John Robert Shermer. John Shermer has been a Nashville institution. He graduated from Ouachita Baptist University. He is the, if you go to see any Nashville games, he's the guy with the camera with the big long lens hanging around his neck, wearing his Scrapper corporate sponsor shirt, and he is also going to be inducted into that first Nashville Scrapper Hall of Fame. And so congratulations, John Robert Shermer. He's was also involved in one of the startup newspapers from Arkadelphia that tried to get going a few years ago after the siftings went out. So give a congratulations to John Shermer. He has some Arkadelphia ties as well.
Campbell quickly fouls the first pitch back, and back out is Chambers again, and it's been a pitching duel, 1 hit apiece. An error for the Scrappers, 3 errors for the Badgers. 1 run for Arkadelphia, none for Nashville. The 1-1 pitch sails right over the head of Campbell. Here's the pitch. Campbell fouls it away. 2 strikes now on him. Having a hard time getting dialed in. Campbell did reach on a walk back in the 4th, but he struck out looking in the 1st, so not been able to put the bat on the ball per se, but behind here in the count, now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitcher on pitcher. I would say that he's gotten the better of Chambers at the plate, as he has at least drawn a walk. Chambers has struck out twice. The dangerous Caden Brown is on deck. Here's the 2-2. Popped up, and that one's going to be out of in-foul territory, but will it stay in play? And it is. First baseman over there to make the play, and that is Gage Green for the first out of the inning. So the second pop up in foul territory, a play made by the first baseman, this time against Campbell. First one against Brown, who will be the second batter of the inning. Popped up over there to that same spot back in the first. Struck out in the fourth.
Nashville wanting either the pitch or the appeal down to first that ended it was off the plate, but you're going to get a little razzing if you don't get that pitch. You know, they're sitting on the third base side, so you can tell it was a little bit out, but Brown did check his swing.
Ball and a strike now to Caden. He's the first baseman. Junior transferred in this year from Hope. And strike two looking, and drops his shoulders a little bit. Not real proud of the call, but nonetheless, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Witten on deck. He will get an at bat. The 1-2. Poked out into foul territory, and again, for the second time in the game, Brown pops out in foul territory to the first baseman.
It was a good pitch by Chambers. Brown knew with 2 strikes he had to stay alive and not get rung up looking, but Chambers put it in a place where it was only where he could just kind of foul that one off.
Witten is due up now with 2 outs in the inning. He grounded out to Willard over at third back in the second inning and walked in the fourth. Well, this will be a good chance to hit one over that 315, and he's not going to get that much. It will be in shallow center field, and measuring it up and working his way under it for the nice catch is Caleb Halter. And Arkadelphia gone in order again as Witten flies out unassisted to the center fielder. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Arkadelphia still hanging on to that 1-0 lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Whether you realize it or not, you see the work of bats and signs all around Arkadelphia. When you see the Badger equipment trailer on the way to a Badger game, Bats and Signs did that. When you're watching the Badgers, Tigers, or Reddies and see the signage that just really makes their facilities pop, Bats and Signs did that too. You see the signage in downtown Arkadelphia, on the campuses of Ouachita and Henderson, or the sign in your neighbor's yard supporting a candidate or their favorite Badger? Yep, Bats and Sign did that too. Longtime residents and supporters of all things Arkadelphia called Mark, Jared, Chris, or Ryan at Bats and Signs today to see what they can do for you.
Join us next week as Arkadelphia will be at home as they take on the Hope Bobcats on Tuesday. First pitch at 5 o'clock from the Arkadelphia Sports Complex. And then at home senior night will be Friday the 28th against Camden Fairview. But right now, a lot of work to be done. There's an inning and a half as 6 more outs is needed by the Arkadelphia Badgers to hopefully get out of here with a win. Leading this one 1-0, and back up to the top of the inning, Tyler Brown, Aiden Smith, and Kason Willard will be the batters. Back out again is Trip Campbell. Strikeout machine so far. This one popped up and out of play. It'll get off well out of play to the right side. You know, it's been the only difference has been the stolen base that was home, and we don't really know if that was a fault of the senior catcher from, here's the pitch, down for ball 1. You know, here's the setup, the scenario for Nashville. They have a senior catcher. They have a freshman pitcher. A stolen base on the exchange back from the catcher to the pitcher. Whose fault was it? Who knows? Doesn't really matter at this point. That's one of the variables of this game. The other variable might just be pitch count for Trip Campbell.
Yep. Through 98 last week against Malvern, has been more efficient today, I believe, with his pitches.
And there's a ground ball to Witten. He measures it up, comes across in time to Brown. 6-3, nice play for the first out of the inning. And Witten, who's been the everyday shortstop for Arkadelphia, just hadn't made a lot of errors this year, and He's turned out to be a pretty good shortstop. He's probably one of the biggest shortstops in 4A baseball.
Yeah, he's a big
but
boy.
quite an efficient one as well.
Big senior on senior matchup. Big spot here for Aiden Smith. Trying to get something going for Nashville here in the bottom of the 6th.
Strike one is the breaking pitch from Campbell. Smith, as we mentioned before, the only senior on this Scrapper team, takes strike one. 0-1 pitch. Popped up, out of play, and foul. A lot of little youngsters over there, a lot of future Badgers over there. Ball lands right in the middle of them. They all brought their gloves to the ballpark.
They all got gloves, but Blake, they're not watching that ball.
They're not going to catch that when those guys are knee-high to a grasshopper, and that ball went further than Elon Musk's rocket this morning, I believe. Here's the 0-2. Ground ball to second base. It's going to be fielded cleanly up and to first in time. 4-3 the putout for Arkadelphia, and 2 quickly gone here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, good play by Ashton there to settle back behind it, get behind the throw, and just make a nice good throw over to Brown.
And now Cason Willard, who's walked and struck out looking, and Chris, Cason Willard is a grown man.
Yes, he has a chance to tie this game up, or has the ability to tie this game up with one swing of the bat.
Here's the pitch. Again, hit hard this time. Again to the second baseman. He's up in plenty of time. 1, 2, 3, go the Scrappers in the bottom of the 6th. We're one inning away. We'll see if the Badgers can add to it in the top of the 7th. Hopefully this will be our last break. We're going to take it right now with 30 seconds. This is Blake Bell and Chris Babb. We'll be right back to Nashville.
Make Print Mania in downtown Arkadelphia your place to get embroidery, screen printing, trophies, and more. Drop by their store on Main Street in downtown Arkadelphia or visit their website at printmaniatees.com to see how they can help your business or group. Need a shirt for an event? Let Print Mania take care of that. Need promotional materials for your business or organization? You can let Print Mania take care of that too. A family-run local business in Arkadelphia, Print Mania has been serving the public since 1992. Call Print Mania today, 870-246-3803.
We're back for what could be the last inning in Nashville. Arkadelphia 1, Nashville nothing. It is a pitching dogfight here in Howard County. 1 run across, 1, 1, and 3. The line score for Arkadelphia, 0, 1, and 1 for the Scrappers. Arkadelphia will send Hooten, Hill, and Casterson to the plate here in the top of the 7th. And if you want a chance to run through a brick wall and have somebody coach you through it, I believe that was Drew Lowe between innings. Firing his baseball team up, trying to get a little bit of breathing room here as only 1 run separates what could be first and second place in the 7-4-8.
Blake, I just went and asked Tripp finish that inning. He's at 92 pitches now, so he'll come back out, and if he can be efficient, he can be able to finish it out. But 92 pitches, so he will have the pitches available to come out for that 7th. I don't see why he wouldn't.
And he can pitch how many?
115, 110, 115.
I think it's 115.
Highest I think Arkadelphia had anybody go is 104. Babb went 104 against DeQueen. But Tripp is in good shape right now.
Hootie pops up the second pitch. The catcher trying to get under it. He's going to run out of room, and it'll land somewhere between the backstop and us right here.
Chris Campbell almost made that catch in his wheelchair. He was ready for it. Sandy was there.
There he is.
He was
There's old Chris.
ready to make that catch.
Sporting the all blue.
You got to make the
There
catch,
he is
man.
down
You gotta
there. He's
make
giving
that
us a
catch.
wave.
Yeah.
Good to see him at the ballpark. Hootie is down 0-2. He struck out a couple of times. We'll see if he can get on base here starting off the 7th.
It's a good AB. This is the last 2 times that Hooten has stayed alive with some fouling some pitches off.
Yeah, and he's shortening up his swing a little bit. He's trying to come out of his shoes the first couple of times up. Now he's shortening up the swing a little bit, knows he needs to get on base. And if nothing more than that, at least run a few pitches out of Chambers' arm. And he strikes out looking to start the 7th. Not a bad at bat. He did turn a few pitches over, and Chambers, the freshman, is starting to get up there. Not sure how many he's got, but he's got to be as close, if not closer to 100 than Tripp. Here's Hill. He tried to bunt and was thrown out just by a hair in the 3rd and struck out in the 5th. Pops it up, foul, back out of play. Badgers being very aggressive here in the top of the 7th. 1-0 is the score. This thing has gone by at a lightning pace. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and missed outside. Bat wasn't long enough for Zane Hill.
Just went and asked. Sorry, Chambers is around that same 92 mark as well. So probably closer, maybe around 95 right now.
Casterson on deck. He will get an at bat. There's a ground ball to short. The speedy Hill. We'll see if he can beat it out, and he does. Ball is bobbled over there by Slayton at short, and with 1 out, the speedy Hill's on for the Badgers.
Yeah, just a little miscommunication between Willard and Slayton. It almost looked like Willard almost got in the way of Slayton there as he was trying to field it. It was a Sunday hop. You're getting a nice hop on turf, and it looked like Willard, if he stops, Slayton's going to be able to make that catch. Or
Willard definitely has the
ball,
momentum.
then he's got to make the throw. But you mentioned Zane Hill's got a lot of speed.
You're exactly right. Willard had the momentum going that direction, but the ball was right in line to Slayton. And there's a ball from Casterson. It's going to be hit over the head.
Oh,
no, it's
wow.
not. What a catch out in left field, and that just saved a run. What a catch out in left field by Tyler Brown. Oh, my goodness. That was a highlight Sports Center over the shoulder. Man, that looked like –
that saved a run. You nailed it, Blake.
That saved a run.
Yeah,
that could have been a ball game right there.
That was a tremendous catch and a tremendous hit by Daniel Kesterson. He squared that one up. There's not any better place you can put it. That was a tremendous hit by Kesterson and a tremendous, tremendous catch in the outfield.
And
Huge.
Hill was off and running. It looked like a base hit all the way, and it was going to be nothing but a 2-0 lead. And so he has to retreat back to first base, and that's where he's at. Cobb now with a strike down here in the inning. 2 down. Hill off and running. Ball is bobbled by the catcher, and Hill safely into second. Overslides the bag just a bit, as normal. A lot of folks do on this artificial turf. He's able to bear hug it and stay on, not getting a throw from Smith. 1 ball, 1 strike. If anybody can score from second, it's Zane Hill. Big swing and a miss there by Cobb. Cobb in the 9-hole. He has singled so far in the game. He has one of the 2 Badger hits today. Back to the top if Cobb were to reach. Tense moment in the ballpark. Cobb fouls this one back. He stays alive. Nice at bat. Getting up over at that 100 pitch mark is Chambers.
Well, that catch also saved Chambers a couple of pitches too. You know, man, that was huge. That was a big catch in this game.
Yeah, and a first pitch swing for Kesterson. He knew he was going to get a strike. He thought he was. He knows Chambers is getting tired. He knows he didn't want to get behind in the pitch count, and he dialed it up. Foul ball. That one popped up and just almost in front of the plate.
It was a good job by Smith of fielding that one, of hopping up and fielding. Jim Pennington, well, he was in position to make that call too, and where Smith grabbed the ball, he deemed it was in foul territory. Now he's explaining to Smith as well. It was a good piece of umpiring by Pennington because he was in the right play, or the right position.
As we mentioned earlier, there are 3 officials in today's game. Not normal for regular season play, but knowing this is a big game and a beautiful Friday afternoon, Nashville must have had a little bit extra money in their pocket. Decided to hire 3, so not a bad gig today. Great atmosphere here. Cobb, 1 ball, 2 strikes. A Badger at second, clinging to a 1-0 lead, 2 outs. There he goes. Ball is fouled back, and Hill was running on the pitch.
It was a good AB by Ashton. Arkadelphia, both teams have had several good ABs against good pitching. It's Ashton was able to spoil that one. It was a hit and run situation. You know, you're going to try to 2 strikes. You're going to be trying to swing anyway, but that was a good Good approach that time by Ashton to foul that one off and stay in there for another pitch.
Ball and 2 strikes to the Badger second baseman. He's had a base hit today, and he's been very active in the field. The pitch is swung on and missed. It gets away from the catcher, but he throws down to first for the out. So it's going to come all down to this right here. Cobb goes down swinging in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. 30 seconds. We'll be back to see how this one winds up. You're listening to Badger Baseball on Mascot Media and ArkadelphiaBadgerTV.com.
While you may not be a pediatric surgeon volunteering your topiary talents at a children's hospital, your life is just as unique. Your Raymond James financial advisor gets to know you, your passions, and the way you give back, so you can live your life. That's life well planned.
What an afternoon for baseball from Nashville, Arkadelphia, and the Scrappers. Would you expect anything less, Chris Babb?
Absolutely not. These two teams had a one-run game. When they squared up a couple last month, and it's a one-run game tonight. Goodness gracious, Arkadelphia 1 run on 2 hits with 3 errors. Nashville no runs on 1 hit with 1 error. 4, 5, 6, the meat of the order, but Trip Campbell has had pretty good control over those 3 batters so far. They're going to try to get something going, and Trip Campbell's going to try to be efficient as he has been the last 5 to 6 innings.
4, 5, 6 hitters up. All they've done is strike out all day. And the first pitch to Gage Green, the junior first baseman, is outside for ball 1. He struck out in the first, struck out in the 4th. 93rd pitch. 94th pitch is strike 1. Trip Campbell, senior left-hander, in his 7th start of the year, looking for his 3rd win against 1 loss. Here's the pitch. Popped up and out of play. Strike 2 to Green. Carson Chambers, the pitcher. He's gone the distance. He's on deck for Nashville. The 1-2 swing and just got a piece of it. That one bounces back to the screen for
Blake Arkadelphia
another
might
shot.
be lucky that he caught just a bit of that, because that might have gotten away.
And he struck him out. Half-hearted swing there by Green, and he throws the bat back over to his dugout, not happy with himself. He goes down swinging for the first out of the inning. Carson Chambers struck out in the 1st, struck out in the 4th. Sound familiar? From the left side, we'll see if he can help his cause. He is the pitcher of record right now for Nashville. Arkadelphia deep in the middle infield. High pitch, ball 1. Brown is about 3 steps behind the bag at first. About 2 steps behind the bag is Hootie. Outfield in a little deeper than normal. Nothing over their head, no doubles, defense in the outfield. 2 balls, no strikes to Chambers. Crowd coming alive. 3 balls, no strikes. Chambers may get on. If he does, he most likely will be pinch run for or courtesy ran for with a speedster out of that dugout over there. Not really the guy you want to walk. There's strike 1. 3 balls and a strike. We'll see if Campbell can work his way back into the count. 1 out already in the inning. Badgers need 2 more to close out a 1-0 shutout. Here's the 3-1. Up and outside. Ball 4. So a 1-out walk.
Yeah, here comes the runner for Chambers. It's a different runner. I believe it was last time.
See if we can get a
Number
number, and that's
10.
number 10. We'll see who that is going to be, and that is going to be Samuel Carter. He's the base runner at first base for Nashville. Slayton has struck out in the second, struck out in the fourth. Once swinging, once looking. A runner on, one out, trailing by one. Campbell gone the distance. Toes the left side of the rubber. Comes set to the belt from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Down and just on the outside for strike one. No balls, one strike to the sophomore shortstop. As we said before, Arkadelphia controls its playoff destiny. A big win tonight would get things off and going for the Badgers. Off and running. The pitch is high for ball one, and a stolen base for Nashville. A runner in scoring position. That is the tying run. The winning run is at the plate for the Scrappers. Slade Slayton, a ball and a strike. He struck out twice in the game. 1-1. Crowd is alive. Swing and a miss. Strike two. It's like a football game. If you're on offense, you're loud. If you're on defense, it's just the opposite. If you're on defense, you're quiet. 2 balls and a strike.
2-2.
Excuse me, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wishful thinking by the scoreboard operator here as he only had 1 strike. There is 2. It's 2-2 to Slayton. Here's the pitch. And he hit him. Or did he hit the bat?
He threw his elbow out is what Campbell's saying.
No, they're going to eat through his elbow out.
He did the same thing, he got that call that time.
Well, he put his elbow right out in the strike zone, and that one's not – the argument may not be won. Now there's going to be runner at first and second base, and wow. Veteran move there by the sophomore shortstop. I wonder where he got that one from.
Really.
Oh, my goodness. Wow, win at any cost, I guess, but he gets the call. And Coach Lowe going to go out and check on his big lefty. Well, he said he couldn't lead. Somebody from Arkadelphia said he couldn't lead into it, but he sure can, and he sure did. And it's put a runner now at first and second and 1 out. Campbell going to see Mason Honey, and Honey has not been on base, but
yeah, they're checking pitch count now. Coach Lowe's asked Coach Stewart pitch count, and Coach Lowe just wanted to make sure that he was still good on pitch count, and trip is for now.
well, so we'll see if Honey can bring the tying, if not the winning run, who is over at first base right now in Slade Slayton. He got on base any way necessary, and he's there, and he is the winning run. Honey struck out, grounded to short. Strike one. Big breaking pitch from Campbell. Campbell needs 2 outs to finish this one off. 1, 2, and 3. 1 run on 2 hits and 3 errors. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error. Foul back. 0-2 to Honey. Halter on deck. Flew out to left. Flew out to first. He's on deck. 0-2. We'll see if Campbell comes to him. Off and running. Swing and a miss. Could have been a strike him out, throw him out. Runners advance to second and third, and Stevenson with the throw. It's offline just into.
That was a good big block by Houston Hooten.
Boy, it was.
That could end up being play of the game. That's going to be it for Trip Campbell. They're going to run out of pitches, and they're going to go to Carter Babb Tripp, tremendous job. He's going to get a hand from everybody. Let's go back to that block from Houston Hooten. If he does not block that ball, this game is tied at the very least.
The very least.
And possibly over.
Yeah, because you got runners at second and third, and that is a ball that if it gets by and the runners already have the momentum, the runner at second base now is Slade Slayton. He was rounding second as that throw was made and would have likely challenged a throw to the plate from Hill. Hill does have a strong arm out in left field, but that's not the way you want to end the game, because it would take almost a perfect one to throw out Slayton, who is pretty fleet of foot. Babb going to dismantle his gear and get ready for what hopefully would be the last out of the game for Arkadelphia. Carter's pitched 14 in the third inning. He started 3 games this year, won all 3. Faced 73 batters, has 15 hits and given up 13 runs, 12 of those earned. He's walked 12, struck out 12. Another lefty. Little different arm slot than what you're going to see from Carter. From
Bunch Nichols.
Well, we got a who's who of
really.
Arkadelphia and Nashville athletics up here. Bunch
Nichols, athletic director,
making his
finished
way through.
Yep. Yeah, runners on second and third. Base hit would win it. Base hit would win the game. No margin of error for either team. This is what you play for, and this is for, if you're Carter Babb, this is why you want to be on the mound, and if you're at the plate and you are Caleb Halter, this is why you want to be at the plate in this situation.
Well, and here's the thing too, Chris, that you've got to be aware of. You've got a new pitcher, you've got a young catcher. Not only does a base hit possibly tie or win this game, but a pass ball ties this ball game up. So we'll see if the communication is there. Good sign, as Cooper Stevenson is going to make his way out and get a last-minute instruction. They want to be sure they're on the right page, getting the call from Coach Lowe over in the dugout. 2 outs now, 2 runners on. Man, does it get any better than this? Friday afternoon baseball, Arkadelphia, and that one is just a bit outside. Arkadelphia and Nashville. Wilson Park. Tying run at third, winning run at second. New pitcher is Carter Babb. Foul ball, just foul, and that was almost the third out as Stevenson jumped on it like a duck on a June bug as it bounced right. I guess it must have, not sure what it hit.
Yeah, it just didn't get it far enough out there, just like the one we saw in the last half inning.
A ball and a strike now. You can cut the tension with a knife here in the ballpark. Bleachers full of fans. Strike 2. Looked at by Caleb Halter. He's flown out to left. He's flown out to first. His third at bat. He's in the hole. A ball and 2 strikes. Babb looks in. Runner at second, runner at third. No mention to him. Now he turns and goes back. No one is holding on at third. Clears his head. Steps back on the third base corner of the pitching rubber. Lets that left arm hang down, comes set to the belt. The pitch. Popped up, foul, back out of play. We'll go again. Arkadelphia 7-4, alone in third. Nashville 9-2, alone in first. They own the tiebreaker with a win over Ashdown. They play Ashdown the last game of the series, of the season. Here it is, the pitch. Popped up, foul, out of play, and Halter will stay alive. Battle going here between Halter and Babb. Scrapper runner at third. Scrapper runner at second is the winning run. Tying run is the third. No one being held on. Outfield is shallow. Infield is deep. The 1-2 pitch on its way. High, ball 2. Babb knew what he wanted, knew he had a pitch to burn. Halter lays off. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Deuce is wild. 2 on, 2 outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Number 22, Carter Babb, your pitcher. The pitch. Popped it up, and it's going to get just out of play. It's going to bang on the tin roof right over the Arkadelphia faithful, and we'll go at it again. Well, a lot going on. Badger baseball, Lady Badger softball, Badger soccer, Lady Badger soccer. Tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock, Quiz Bowl, state championship. But tonight, we're 1 pitch possibly away from a big, big win for Arkadelphia. Babb to the belt. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Arkadelphia survives. 1-0. Carter Babb comes in, shuts the door. He's got 3 wins. He's got a save on the year, and he just picked up the biggest win of his career, the save of his career, as he shuts down the last hitter of the inning, and a 1-0 win for Arkadelphia. Wow, what a game. Chris Babb.
That's good. That's good stuff. That was a big win.
Man, if Chris Babb could smile any bigger.
Yeah.
No, that's a great job. That's a great senior moment. That's a good veteran pitching performance right there by both those guys.
2 one-run wins for Arkadelphia over Nashville. Just 2 big games that both could have gone either way. And if you're wearing Badger blue and red, they go the way you want it to. If you're Scrappers, you only have that 3rd loss. But that was a tremendous ball game. Pretty clean after the first inning. You had 2 pitchers, Chambers and Trip Campbell, that really, really, really pitched about as good as you can. Arkadelphia got that 1 run on 2 hits, had 3 errors, 2 of those in the first inning that ended up in no runs for Nashville. Nashville, no runs on 1 hit with 1 error. That was a pitching duel, and that was quite a baseball game.
We're going to try to get Carter Babb up here. We're going to try to get Trip Campbell up here. Trip Campbell threw 12 strikeouts. Carter Babb threw 1. None more important than that last one. I think both of those guys, it took both of them to win it. Here's what Arkadelphia looked like on the day. Carter Babb reached base twice today, both on walks. He struck out. Stevenson was 0 for 3. Campbell reached on a base on balls 1 time. He struck out and then popped out to the first baseman in foul territory. Caden Brown struck out once and popped out to the first baseman in foul territory twice. Donovan Witten grounded out to the shortstop. He walked and then hit a pop fly out to the center fielder. Houston Hooten struck out 3 times today. Hill with one of the singles in the game for Arkadelphia. Casterson with a hit a ball that was just absolutely a great play made on back in the 7th that could have broke things open. He was 0 for 3 today with a strikeout and 2 pop-outs. And then Ashton Cobb, the only other single to right field for Arkadelphia. The only Arkadelphia run was scored on a Carter Babb stealing home. He stole it on the freshman pitcher from the senior catcher, and that was the difference as Arkadelphia comes in and shuts the door on what could have been and what still may be. Nashville is still controlling their destiny in the 7-4A. They're going to drop to 9-3. Arkadelphia going to improve to 8-4. Arkadelphia will now jump into what may be that 2nd spot, and with a couple of games left to go, Arkadelphia will be back at home for both of those. Tuesday from Southern Bancorp Field in Arkadelphia against the Hope Bobcats. First pitch 5 o'clock, and then Friday is senior night from Arkadelphia against the Camden Fairview Cardinals. Also, senior night festivities will start at 5 o'clock and first pitch somewhere around 5:20. Nashville, they'll play Camden Fairview on Tuesday at Fairview. Ashdown will play Friday against Ashdown and Nashville will play at Nashville right here at Wilson Park for what could be the – go ahead and put those on. What could be the championship. But Arkadelphia put a big what if in that today, and I'm joined right now. We're going to turn our – we're not going to turn our – no, don't worry about it. We won't turn it around. By Carter Babb. Carter, you know, when you have a game like that, Tripp goes out and throws 12 strikeouts. You threw one. There was not one of those 12 any bigger than the one you threw right there at the end. How are you feeling, man?
Feeling great, feeling great. We got a really big win, and all credits go to 1-2 on the mound out there. Been sick for about a week. Didn't know if he's going to be able to be here today, but glad we had him and went and got a huge win.
You did. You're holding that championship belt. You know, we were up here talking, your dad and I, about when you scored the run from third, and we got to know, you did that earlier in the year against Stuttgart, and it was simply reading the exchange between what was a senior catcher and a freshman pitcher. Did that play into your decision with you and Coach Jordan over there at third?
Yes, sir. I noticed that the catcher really wasn't paying much attention to me the 2 pitches previous, and he was lobbing it to the pitcher, and as soon as the pitcher was catching it, he was turning his back. So I thought that, and me and Lowe, little twin telepathy there, he knew I was going to do it. I knew I was going to do it, and I just took a gamble, and it paid off, and we win the game 1-0.
Man, I tell you, 2 senior lefties, you combined for 13 strikeouts, none bigger than yours to finish the game. Hey, that was a pretty good at-bat Halter put on you last. I mean, he made you work for it.
Yes, sir, he did. That dude is he's good in all aspects. He can hit, he can field, he can pitch, and the Scrappers have got a good guy coming up.
Well, they've got a lot of underclassmen. They only have 1 senior, and that was the catcher. And you know, nobody was any more upset to lose both games of the season to the Arkadelphia Badgers. That guy's been around a long time. Tripp Campbell, put on that headset. We want to talk to you, young man. You're becoming old hat up here. We're going to have to make you a broadcaster one of these days. Get used to coming up here.
Sounds fun to me.
Well, you felt bad this week. We know we missed you having you early in the week, and that Ashdown series that, we really wanted that. We weren't able to pull it off. Mike could have if you were here, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. You were here tonight. You fanned 12. You went out there. You threw your limit of pitches at 115. How are you feeling now? Does that make you feel a little better?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Seeing that scoreboard and having visitors winning, I love it.
You know, we started off, and there were a couple of errors early in the game. As a pitcher, especially even the first ground ball that was hit was an error, and you get your dauber down a little bit, or you can push through it. You seem to push through it. Talk about that just a little bit.
So I know everything's not going to be perfect. So you know, you just have to move on from it and keep pitching. You know, you can't just slow down and let up your teammates. You know, you just got to keep pushing.
Your dad's down there. He's donned in Badger blue and grinning like a Cheshire cat. Great night for him as well as the rest of your family. You guys got a lot of work to do. You got a couple of games at home next week. Hope Bobcats, you know, they may be in the cellar of the conference, but you can't look past anybody. Then you got Camden Fairview. Coming into tonight's games, you guys could have altogether missed the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You started it off with a great night tonight. What is it going to take to finish up strong and hopefully get a better seed in the regional?
For me, I think it's just going to be our hitting and making no errors. But you know, I think we can do it as well. You know, I think we can go out and win these next 2 games and compete really well in regionals.
Well, you're a senior. You deserve this. You've worked hard for a long, long time to get here. You're getting down to the twilight of your season. Then we're looking at going into the postseason. The Queen is where the regional is. Lone Oak is where the state tournament is. And then, of course, all roads lead to Baum. So what's it going to take from you guys? I mean, you talked about the hitting. You talked about the pitching. You know, you've got some new guys that you're really expecting a lot out of.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Well, I think we just need to keep practicing, keep getting better each and every day. You know, Leadership for sure, part of it. I just think we just need to go out there and have fun.